Hi, I wanted to take just a few minutes to introduce you to how seamlessly Wakelet has embedded Microsoft's Immersive Reader into their application. The Immersive Reader is a great tool that you can use to level the playing field when it comes to reading abilities in your classroom. The Immersive Reader allows students to customize their reading experience in ways that promote comprehension. And Wakelet and the Immersive Reader has done a great job of adhering to many of Mayer's multimedia principles. They don't all apply because this is strictly concerning the reading of text online, but several of the principles do apply. So let's take a look. So here's my Wakelet page, my collection, and we're going to take a look at this article that I've saved here, The Art of Forgetting. Now, if I was sharing this and one of my students clicked on the article, this is what they'd be taken to. So I have my article here, but you'll notice across the top and down the sides all this extraneous stimuli. Direct opposition to Mayer's coherence principle. There's all this distracting information that's going to keep my student from focusing on what I want them to focus on, the text over here. So if we go back over here, and instead of just clicking on the article, I click on the read mode, the first thing you'll notice is in the read mode, I have my article and all that extraneous stimuli is gone. So we don't have all those distractions. The students can now just concentrate on comprehending the text that I need them to comprehend for the assignment. Now let's take it the next step and go into the Immersive Reader. So if I step up here and click on it, I'm taken to this screen. So you can see the text looks slightly different now. It's slightly different layout. Now my learner can personalize their learning experience. There's a lot of user control here. First we'll look how the signaling principle is addressed. So here we have the text, and if I have a reader that struggles to read the words and really just needs to focus on comprehending, I can have the text read aloud. Simply hit the play button, and you can see that the text is read aloud with each word being signaled by this highlighted box around the word. Not only that, but my user, my student, can further personalize their experience by clicking down here, and they can change the speed of the voice as well as whether or not it's female or male. So if I want a female voice and I want her to read it slightly quicker, I change that, play again, and now I have a female voice at a slightly quicker speed. Now, the voice might slightly violate Mayer's principles because it is computer generated. It's not the worst computer voice I've heard, but it is not a truly human voice. But because the students can personalize male versus female and the speed of the voice, it still gives them some user control in the program. Now the next thing I can do is come up here to my settings. And again, this all goes back to user control. I can change the text size. So if I want my text to be bigger or smaller, I can, right now the spacing is increased, but if I don't want that increased spacing, I can take that off. I can change the font. I can use different background colors to make it maybe easier on my eyes to read. So those are some great ways for students to personalize the learning experience and kind of go along with the segmenting principle, because students can decide how many times they need to read or listen to this text. So it doesn't have to be based on the teacher determines that we're going to read at one time or other students are reading at one time. I as a student can decide how many times I need to read this before I truly comprehend it, and even go back to it as needed as I complete an assignment. Now the next thing I can do, and this again goes with signaling, is if I need to, if this is something I'm working on, I can highlight the nouns, the verbs, the adjectives, and the adverbs. So again, supporting my learning, providing some great signaling and cueing, and even looking at some syllables. Maybe that's going to help me sound out some of the words that I don't know. The last thing is my reading preferences. So if I want to focus on just a couple lines of text, this is too much for me to comprehend at one time, I can narrow my focus down to 1 line, 2 lines, or 3 lines. Also, let's take that off here. There's a picture dictionary built in. So if there's a word I don't understand, if I click on it, Let's see the word remember. Not only will the computer tell me what the word is, but I'll get some picture clues to help me understand what that word means. So this may help my lower achieving students as well as my non-English speaking students to better understand the text that they're reading. And the spatial contiguity principle is met here because the word and the pictures are presented right next to the word in the text. So I don't have to scan elsewhere to get this information. Up in my reading preferences, I can also choose to translate to Spanish by word, or if I have a Spanish speaking student and I want them to see the whole document in Spanish, I can translate that entire document into Spanish. So again, a great way to support your students that have unique learning needs. Close this window and I can go back to this page. So again, excellent job of adhering to the coherence principle, eliminating all that distracting detail, providing signaling to help students track the words as they're reading and improve their reading comprehension, spatial contiguity with those pictures right next to the words they represent, segmenting, giving the user some control in how often they read, how much they read at one time before they pause, maybe to answer some questions. And the voice principle, even though it is a computer voice, so it could be improved with a human voice, at least students are able to personalize it male, female, and the speed of the speaker. So I hope you see the usefulness of this tool and you'll check it out. Thank you.